Welcome back to another episode of Two Average Husbands. I am your host, Jake, and as you can see if you are watching us live on YouTube right now, Kyle is not with us this week. I have a guest host this week, and I will let them introduce themselves.
What's up, everyone? Michael. Uh, Basically, you can find me Twitter at MPFlores90. I also have a couple podcasts, Edison and Shields, which not much is going on because that's a Cubs and Sox podcast. And I got Windy City Rant, which I'll be recording after this, and you should go check that one out. We're also on YouTube at Windy City Rant.
Love it, love it. Michael has been, me and him have been in random group chats over the past few years about the Cubs, Sox, Bears, all that fun stuff. So excited to finally have him on the podcast this week in place of Kyle. And with that, we are just going to jump right in, throw him right to the gauntlet. So I'm going to present my first topic for the week. Normally we talk about the NFL, but this game is boring as shit, and I don't want to talk about it. So we're just going to hop right in. Michael, what are 10 things that you currently have in your house that you think are wildly underrated? And that could be just based off of something that you like, a use that you have it for that you think more people should use it for. That could be just something in general. Like you could say that you think couches are underrated. Like, what do we got? I'll start off. I'll give my first example. It's right here. It's an iPad. I have had this iPad for so long and I've just really never used it. I got it as like a work giveaway in probably like 2015 and it's just sat there collecting dust. And as of recently, I've started using the iPad and maybe it's just me getting old, but I'm like, holy shit, I love using an iPad. Like just the screen's bigger, the speakers are better, like everything about it is just better than just sitting on my phone. So I think iPads are wildly underrated and I think everybody should have an iPad.
All right, so for my first one, I can actually have something very similar to yours. I actually didn't own a laptop until about 3 years ago. So I got my first laptop about 3 years ago. And it is kind of on track with your tablet. I can bend it backwards and turn it into a notebook and use it for drawing, use it for writing, scribing, whatever. And I think that feature in itself is super underrated because even if I'm watching like a movie or something, which I watch a lot on my laptop, I'll just flip it over and I can literally without having to worry about the keyboard like being pushed or something or
Right.
accidentally like clicking something that I don't want to.
Yeah, my wife's laptop, which now I use to run one of the two TVs that I have over there, is the same way. And when she got it, I was like, this is awesome. Like I never wanted it for me. I'd always just had like MacBook Airs, like just like, I don't want to say a basic laptop because they're very nice laptops, but just like that's just what I had. I got my parents' hand-me-downs. And when I saw one that could like have multi-use like that, it really like blew my mind a little bit. Because like I had experienced like Microsoft Surfaces, but like these were the
Hmm.
first ones that were like, because the Surfaces had like the detachable keyboard. It wasn't the same thing. Those are cool. I love those. So that's a great one to start off with. Number two for me is a milk frother. And it's
Oh,
not even for frothing milk. Like that aspect is cool. Like if you want to make your own lattes and everything like that at home, it's awesome. But it's just really great at stirring anything. So like I'll use it all the time when I'm making like my pre-workout, or I'll do like I drink a greens powder every day or a protein shake. Like just being able to stick it in and press the button and it does all the stirring for me. Like yeah, I'm clearly just lazy, but anything that can make my life a little bit easier, I love. And they're like $4 on Amazon.
oh no way. Maybe I should get one then.
Yeah, they're so cheap, and they all work. They all like none of them are better than others. I'm sure there are like fancy ones that do all this extra shit, but it's like it's super easy. You just throw it in there, you run it under water, and it's clean. Like
Nice.
it's super easy to maintain, and it just serves a really great purpose in my life. As somebody who works out and takes way too many powders in a day, it just makes everything so much easier.
For sure. That's cool. So I received as a gift a couple years ago a full on like bartending kit.
Hmm.
And I used to just take like a Yeti and shake everything in there. And you just make a mess, everything gets everywhere. And that entire kit has become almost a necessity for me because it comes with a muddler and everything. And I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, but I did post a video not recently of me making a drink,
Hmm.
and all the crap that comes in it, man, is so cool. And I'm gonna put tandem that with I actually got a smoker as well for drinks and
Ooh.
stuff. So adding that with it too, and it's it's something you don't need, but once you use it, you're like, yeah, I need it.
Yeah. Well, I always tell my wife, like, I have all of this liquor here. Like, I know how to make a ton of drinks, but I don't own the shit to do it. Like,
Mm,
I don't have a shaker. I don't have a muddler. I don't have like the fancy stirs that like I don't have any of that. I have cups. I have drinks. That's it. And you can just do so much more with that. That's actually something that I've been like putting on my Christmas list for this year is
nice.
like an actual bartending kit. And then I want to start buying like, uh, like just or making like sour mix, like having that on hand, having like blue curacao, like just different like liqueurs that you use frequently when making drinks. Like I just never have any of that. And every once in a while, I'm like, it'd be just cool to just make like some really nice drinks right now, as opposed to just drinking like Tito's and soda or whiskey. Like it's nice to switch it up every once in a while.
Oh, for sure.
That being said, I still love me a straight whiskey, but you got to switch it up sometimes. Speaking of whiskey, actual whiskey glasses are so underrated. And when I mean actual whiskey glasses, I mean whiskey tasting glasses. So actually, let me just grab one. 1 second. So if you like whiskey and you like drinking straight whiskey, but you've never had it out of a Glencairn, so it's like an actual tulip shaped glass. It's like designed specifically for drinking hard liquors and like getting different tasting notes and everything out of them. I didn't like drinking straight bourbon, straight whiskey, straight scotch or anything like that until I got some of these. And I got these like at the behest of a YouTube channel that just like swore up and down. They're like, this will change the way that you taste whiskey. And I was like, I still like whiskey, but it's just not like I didn't appreciate like straight whiskey like I do now because of these glasses. They're not cheap by any means. It's like 30 for
Sure.
four of them, but they're also just like they just like look cool. Like you can be that guy like drinking out of
Yeah.
your little Glencairn. But yeah, just any like tulip shaped glasses to drink liquor out of if you like drinking straight liquor, because it's not just for whiskey either. Like you can put tequila in there, you can put rums in there,
Hmm.
gins, anything, and it changes the way that you taste it or interpret it. And I think that's really, I think just like kind of that in general, like glasses that are for specific drinks. I guess I can kind of just like generalize that. Like if you like look into like what kind of beers are supposed to go in what kind of glasses, like there's always a reason behind it. And I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
super cool, and it really does change the way that some things taste.
Yeah. If you don't already, there is you can grab like most people say do like artesianal water, but I mean you can do tap water. Like take a straw and put a drop
Yep.
of water into your whiskey to release some of the notes, if you will, and it actually works. It was one of the dumbest things I've heard until I tried it, and I was like, never mind doing that again.
Yeah, and it all depends on the whiskey too, because like if you have a super oil heavy one, that first sip afterwards is so harsh because it pushes
Hmm.
everything to the top, and then it just. But then after that again, it gets like really hard for the first sip, and then super smooth afterwards. And yeah, it's definitely it changes the way that everything tastes. It's amazing. It's so
Yeah,
worth
for
it.
sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm big on cups. I think I have almost every style of cup needed for alcoholic drinks, so I do appreciate the good cups as well.
Yeah, it's so worth the investment on them, in my opinion. If you drink a lot, if you just want them for like decoration and stuff, that's cool too. They look cool. Like most of the time when that's less cluttered, like I just have these sitting on there because then everybody always asks like, "What are these for?" And I'm like, "Here, try my whiskeys."
That's awesome. So for my next one, I think I'm gonna stick with the technology theme. I bought a dongle that connects my HDMI cord to any USB-C, and I can connect my phone or I can connect my laptop to my TV. And the reason why that has been so damn clutch for me is I got rid of cable.
Mhm.
Cable's so expensive, and I think I watched like two channels,
Yeah,
and it's absolutely trash. And this dongle cost me maybe $4, and I connect my laptop, and I can watch pretty much whatever I want. I may or may not stream some games
Mhm.
from there, so you find a couple websites, and that's how I watch my football games and my baseball games. So hey, being able to actually watch them on a big screen and just just my laptop has been pretty clutch.
Yeah, I mean, with Amazon Prime Video and Peacock streaming football games and other sporting events, and even Twitch, it's super easy to stream games, anytime that you want, pretty much. Yeah, that's definitely awesome, especially for me. That'd be cool because I never even really thought about doing that because I have my old like desktop computer, and that's what I run the TV in our living room off of. And that's actually my thing, is running TV off of a computer. Because like you said, cable is just so not worth it. And if you have an actual computer there, not only can you stream anything, you can pull up Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, you can pull up, your streaming websites, you can just play music off of it, but it's also just allows for a lot of extra versatility. Like I've just pulled up games on my computer, and like we just have a wireless keyboard and we can just like pass it around, and everybody, like, we can play the different games together. Like we've played like online versions of Monopoly and stuff on the TV
Nice.
over there for like parties. And it's a different dynamic, and it's something that people don't really think about doing. Like, why would I run my TV off of a computer? It's like, I haven't paid for cable in 5 years. I gotta watch something. And not that smart TVs aren't great, they are, but they're inconsistent in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And like the one that I have, it's an older smart TV. So the Netflix app on it doesn't even work. Like you can't even update it. It's just not supported anymore. So it's just easier for me to run that off of the computer.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that last part because I bought a TV off of work. So what we used to do at work is we could buy things that they were going to get rid of, and we'd write a check. So for example, I bought this Sony TV that was really cool when it first came out. It was a $400 TV. I was able to donate $50 to a charity that my work works with, and they gave me the TV. So great TV. It stopped being able to update anything about a week or two after I got it.
Right.
So nothing works on it besides the normal TV stuff. So now it's been there for decoration, I guess, which is a little unfortunate, but it sucks when you can't update crap, man. Everything needs an update like once a month now.
Yeah, I complain plenty frequently about how often things need to update, specifically like video games. Like I feel like the new Call of Duty came out, Vanguard. I think I've updated it 9 times since it came out like 2 weeks ago.
Jesus.
It just there every time I get on, it seems like there's an update that I have to run. And with computers and just with that running my TV, like, yeah, I got to do a Windows update every once in a while, but it's just Netflix.com, Hulu.com, Amazon. Like it's just so much easier. It's so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of just generally like underrated things. I think having a home gym is underrated.
Ooh, that's convenient as hell.
Yeah, like I look over here and I have a bench, I have a squat rack, barbell, some dumbbells. It sucks like because it is expensive to do it up front, but if you look at the math on it, like it's worth it in the long run. Like just what I pay to a gym that I don't go to, like especially through COVID, like when I wasn't leaving my house, and like even for a while the gym was just like you couldn't go even if you wanted to, like it was just shut down.
Right.
So like I was spending $38 a month or whatever it is on this gym membership that I just can't use. Like if you do the math on 40 times 12, we'll call it, it's almost $500 a year. Like if I go spend $500 on dumbbells, like I'm going to make my money back in the long term, and eventually, especially because they don't really depreciate. Like dumbbells from the 80s are still worth like it's like $1.60 a pound is basically like what the market value is for them. So they still sell for exactly that. So if I ever did want to get rid of them, but like I can work out on my lunch breaks when I'm working from home. I can work out after
That's
work,
nice.
and I don't have to deal with driving to a gym and changing and showering after the workout. Like I work out right next to where I'm currently sitting, and I walk 20 feet to my bathroom and take a shower. It's a different level of convenient.
Oh yeah, and that's a mental convenience too, because most of working out is like, yeah, obviously it's physical, but the whole mental aspect of it is like, well, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to get up, I don't want to drive. And it's like, or I can literally roll over and just pick up a weight real quick.
I have just rolled the chair over there and just like picked up a dumbbell and just started doing like bicep curls or like tricep extensions. I can't say no to going to the gym when the gym is next to me. Like
For sure.
that's always 90% of the battle. I used to, even when I didn't want to go to the gym in the past, I would always just like force myself to go, because once I was there, I knew I was going to do it. and now I've just brought it to me. So now I just don't have an excuse.
Yeah, that's so nice. That's one thing I wish I invested in a while ago was, weights here from my house because especially right now, like you think about it, it's you go work out, it's fucking cold out and you don't want to walk outside after the gym after you're just sweating and everything. It's like, well, or I can just stay home and watch TV.
Yeah, I can stay warm on my comfy couch and chair and just like have a drink, and I don't have to go exert myself for an hour and a half. Yeah. It's winter's always the hardest time to work out in general.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Especially if you don't like running on a treadmill and you like running outside.
Yeah.
It's like good luck running outside.
Bro, I can't run in the cold. Like I feel like I have asthma when I run in the cold. So yeah,
Mm.
that's for me. And I have a treadmill, but I don't like running on it. It hurts my knees, which is guess what? That's what happens when you run on a treadmill too much. So,
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned that is clutch that you don't know you really need until you actually get it, and it's a good knife.
yeah.
Especially if you love to cook.
Yep.
Like I wouldn't say I love to cook. I cook because I basically have to, but so I'll cook and always had the worst knives
Yep.
where I'm literally there exerting all of my energy to cut a damn piece of meat. Where I just recently got a better knife and dude, it's been nice. It's massive. It's unnecessarily big, but it is easily the best knife I've had for cutting anything.
Yeah, that blew I won't say it blew my mind, but it was like really eye-opening to see that difference like from just a cheap $20 knife set from Walmart versus like my parents when they were moving, they found a knife set that I guess my dad won at like a golf outing or something. And I was like, "Hey, you're clearly not using this. You didn't know you had it. Have it. Can I have it?" He was like, "Yeah, I don't care." So I took it and I looked it up. It was like a $350 knife set.
Damn.
And yeah, real
So
nice.
two knives.
Yeah. It was, and so like I just took it home and I was like, holy shit, this is so nice. And my wife was always like, she doesn't cook a ton. I always do most of the cooking. And she was using the knives one time and she was like, holy shit. I'm like, what? She was like freaking out. And I'm like, what? Is everything okay? She's like, why is it so easy to cut through this now? And I'm like, because these are good knives. Like, they're in like the case that they go in is self-sharpening too. So like
Oh,
I
that's
never have
awesome.
to deal with it. It's so nice. Yeah, that's definitely. I still want to get though like the like artisanal like professional grade knives because like as nice as these are still like just consumer grade. Like I want actual like chef's knives. That'd be so
Where it's
nice.
350 a knife instead of a set.
Yeah, still probably worth it in some way, shape, or form.
I've used them before, and dude, they are so convenient. I just feel like you want to be there actually cutting because you know that it's so easy rather than having being on the struggle bus to just cut a damn onion or something stupid.
Right. We've all been there with just the like we're trying to use a butter knife to cut through something. Like that's what shitty knives feel like. And then like if you've used that same butter knife on butter, that's what good knives feel like. And it's definitely worth it. My Uncle Kyle's in the chat talking about the pot and pan set that my parents gave him. It was like $600 plus. Yeah, they just ended up with a bunch of shit. We can thank my mom for that, and we can thank random golf outings that my dad went to for all of the free stuff that my Uncle Kyle and I have gotten over the years. To kind of speak on the cooking train, I'll give two more things, and then I'll let you wrap up with anything you want to talk about before we hop into your topic. But a cast iron, like good cast iron skillets,
Yes.
life changing. Like I have shitty cast iron skillets and those are still better than cooking on nonstick pans. And I have one, it's not great. It's Lodge. Like they're one of the more like commercial cast iron brands. Like they're still very good. They're still highly rated, but it's still only like, a $20-$30 one. If you get like old school, traditional, like go to an antique shop, spend $100 on a cast iron skillet, you see why. The shit just lasts forever. It completely it changes the way your food tastes. Like if you cook well on it, like cooking steak on cast iron it's not comparable. It's so much better and it is so worth the investment and all of the time and effort it takes to maintain and season a cast iron skillet. It's so worth it. And then in the complete opposite spectrum of that, an air fryer is perfect. Just get an air fryer. Everything reheats
Literally
better in an
anything.
everything reheats. If you complain about taking your food and microwaving it. You're like, it tastes like shit afterwards. Get an air fryer because it literally just like reheats your food a million times better. It's everything you want it to be and more. And you can do like the one that I have is like 12 in 1. So you can do like, you can air fry, there's a specific setting for pizza. You can use it as like a conventional oven or like a toaster oven. You can make toast in it. You can dehydrate food in it. Like you can just do whatever you want with the damn thing. And it is so worth the investment. 100%.
Yeah, last Thanksgiving I did air fryer turkey, a 10-pounder. Amazing. The juiciest turkey I can remember in a while.
Yeah, I'm not a huge turkey guy, but I could mess around with the air fried turkey. I feel like that would turn out really, really well.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on the not a huge turkey guy because I'm more of a ham guy for Thanksgiving, and we actually try to get more ham than we need for Thanksgiving, so that way I have leftovers.
Yep.
And for the next couple weeks, I'm just doing grilled cheese with ham and tomato soup for like 2 weeks, just because it's like perfect for wintertime.
Right. It's so good. Yeah, we're the same way. My family's just kind of always done. My mom's side of the family, we always did turkey, and my dad's side of the family, we always did ham. And there's just something about a good ham.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how big honey baked ham is around in this because I don't live in the city anymore. But are there honey baked hams in the city? Like the fast, like I guess not fast food restaurant, but it's like a small restaurant deli, and they sell hams.
I honestly don't know. I've always lived outside the city,
Okay.
but I mean, when it comes to like restaurants, like if I'm thinking of like restaurants or delis or anything like that, the only place I can ever really remember getting it growing up was like Boston Market.
Okay.
And then otherwise we would just buy it at the store, like just get it at the grocery store, and my grandma would make it herself. So
For
I would
sure.
imagine there's probably places that have it, but I don't know. If any of our listeners or anybody who happens to be watching us live right now is in the city of Chicago, let us know. Or I'll have to take a break at work one day now that I work in the city and go find a deli and just figure it out. Because I would imagine that those like fresh would probably be a lot better than the frozen ones that we get at the store. And the frozen ones still hit.
They do. They do. They're amazing. But honey baked ham, there's one I work really close to Crystal Lake. And there's one in Crystal Lake, and it is amazing. And they do their own sauces, so I'll buy like their 4-pack of sauces. So it'll be like a weird mayonnaise. I don't even know how to describe what some of them are, but there's like 4 different mayonnaise and 4 different barbecue sauce, and you throw that on your sandwich. Their ham is amazing.
I might need you to send me the name of that place. Because Crystal Lake's a bit of a drive, but it ain't too far for some good food.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's just honey baked ham. I mean, it's super easy place to find. I mean, it's
Nice.
small little shop, but their sandwiches are really fucking good, dude. I love me a good sandwich.
I love that. There used to be an outlet store around Aurora. I'm sure there still is. I just don't. I'm in the like Joliet area, and I don't.
Okay.
I also just don't get out much. I'm very boring in general, but I have to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. But man, on top of that, I don't know like what else is pretty clutch in my house. I do really appreciate my bean grinder. I grind my own beans for coffee. I don't like buying ground coffee anymore,
Same.
and that thing has been pretty good. And I'll just make my own cold brew because I'd prefer cold brew over hot coffee.
Same.
I get bad heartburn,
I'm
and
the same
cold
way.
brew really, yeah, cold brew doesn't. You don't get all the oils from brewing the coffee hot
Right.
because once you go hot, then it's like all the oils start escaping, and I just get bad heartburn. But I love me some good cold brew, so I guess yeah, my bean grinder and my little cold brewed pot that I use, that is pretty good when I start using it again. It's been a little while.
That's a solid one to end on because I've actually been thinking about like I love cold brew. Like it's if I get coffee anymore, it's probably a cold brew. And
Nice.
I've always been like I have really nice like I have good coffee. I'd really like to see how this cold brews. And I guess I'm just going to have to find out now. You convinced me.
Do it.
You
It's
convinced
worth
me
it.
to do it.
You can buy like a little cheap set for like $10, and it works just as well because you can do it in a regular, really pitcher if you want, but a really cheap, decent set you can still get for $10.
Perfect. There we go. Advertisers, hit us up. We're already selling stuff to each other. We'll just keep it going. We'll
Let's get the
get the fan.
sponsorship money in.
Exactly. No free ads. All right. That was a great first topic. Michael, I assume you're having something to drink tonight. What can you go ahead and tell the audience what you're sipping on?
Yeah, so I am drinking Mango Cart by Golden Road Brewing. So it's a mango wheat ale. It's actually really light. It's probably right around 4%, which so it's more like a session beer, where you can
Mm,
just drink a bunch of them and be fine. So they're inspired. They're a California brewery. They're inspired out of the fruit carts out
mm-hmm.
in California, and they came in a pack of three different beers for each. One was strawberry melon, one was pineapple, and this one is mango, and they're not bad. I normally like to taste my alcohol, to be honest, but I wanted to try it because I appreciated the artwork on the can, and
Mm,
sometimes when I want to try something new, that's what I do. I just grab something with a good
right.
artwork, and yeah, it's not bad. Little fruity for my taste. I'd if I'm giving it a 10 scale rating, I'd probably get it like a 6 or a 7. So it's not terrible,
Okay.
but I've had better.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what that 6 to 7 range is for me as well. It's like these are good. They're not going to be like a go to for me by any means. But if somebody gives me one, I'm not gonna punch them in the face. I'm still gonna drink it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Michael, why don't you go ahead and introduce your first topic for the week?
Yeah, so mine isn't as random as yours. That was actually a pretty good one. I appreciated that. But for the first time in maybe 5-ish years, I'm watching basketball again. The Bulls are actually entertaining, and I forgot what that was like. I don't know if you've been watching any basketball at all this year yet, but I'd recommend at least watching one game. Maybe not against a crappy team that they're going up against, but they look pretty good. I mean, I know I like Levine. I thought he's been pretty good the past few years, and his game elevated. Getting DeMar DeRozan has been pretty good. But the fact that I'm actually watching basketball again, I think is good for Chicago. The Sky just won, so shout out Chicago
True. Shout
Sky.
out.
But because Chicago sports right now are kind of sad, like in many different aspects, whether it's the actual on field or on court production or on ice production, but all the drama on the background and all the stupid shit these players and organizations are doing, it's kind of depressing.
I literally have been thinking about starting to watch basketball just because I need a good Chicago sports team right now. And like I don't like professional basketball. I never really have. I was more into it when I was younger. I went to a few games here and there, and it was cool. I never like had a problem with it, but just like basketball as a sport just gets kind of boring to me, which is like a horrible description of it because I'm also like baseball is like my favorite or second favorite sport to watch depending on the time of the year, and it's admittedly one of the more boring sports to watch. But like I don't know. I guess if you could like what is drawing you? Is it just the team being good, or are they like just are they fun? Are they exciting to watch? Are they like superstars? Are they flashy? Like what's really drawing you back? Is it just a good Chicago team, or is it like this team is actually like really fucking fun to watch?
So that's what started it. What started it was, hey, I think this team's going to be good just on paper. And then the grit that they have, man. Alex Caruso has been a dog. Like this was a guy that the Lakers didn't want, and he was on the Lakers. They didn't want him. Bulls offered him a contract. He went back to the Lakers and said, "Hey, this is what the Bulls are offering me. Can you like match it? And I'll come back. I want to stay here." And they said no. And so he's like, "Fine, then I'll go to Chicago." Comes to Chicago, and he's kind of like what I envision a Chicago athlete to be.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, he doesn't necessarily need to be the greatest on the court, but he's
Right.
out there looking to play, and that's what I like. I like the guys that are out there that are gritty as hell, and he's like this dude. You look at him and like, I know he could probably kick my ass, but he probably has that face that you just wanna punch.
Right.
But it's actually been pretty fun, and I know you say you don't like professional basketball, which I'm not the biggest basketball fan anyway. Like that's why it's for me like watching basketball again is kind of cool.
Right.
But I've only watched professional basketball. If I'm gonna be honest, I've never watched college basketball game in my life, not even March Madness, and I
Mm-hmm.
do brackets every year. and I literally just base it off of, I don't know, cool, you're gonna win this year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's just, I don't know. I just kind of fell. I don't want to say fell out of love because I don't even think I was ever in love with basketball, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just never like really my cup of tea. Like, I think I like college basketball because of the exciting nature of March Madness. Um, my Uncle Kyle says the only thing more boring than baseball is golf. Hey, I'm going to disagree with you there. Golf is the most underrated sport to watch. That's
Never seen that either.
it's maybe a hot take, but it
Also, I've never played it.
that's I don't know, and I don't think I know a single person who hasn't played golf. Have you at least gone to like Top Golf?
So I literally just went for the first time and swung a golf club for the first time ever a couple weeks ago.
There we go. That's how you got to start. Like even my wife
Yeah.
will go to Top Golf. She like I don't want to say she loves it, but she always has fun because I just swing as hard as I can. Like I'm a fairly good golfer. I'm a 9 handicap, which for people who don't know what that means, if on my best day I should shoot like 9 shots over par. So pretty decent, all things considered. But when I go there, I'm just trying to hit the ball over the net every single time, and I don't care about my points. But my wife really gets into it, and she like loves the fact that she can just like no matter what club she hits, it's never gonna go farther than the yellow target, and she's just gonna get points every time and beat me that way. So that's always fun, I guess. But even she like gets into it when we go to Top Golf, and it's just a more like accessible, fun way. Like I don't think everybody needs to go to the golf course and spend. You know, it's an expensive sport to play. Like there's cheap courses, but it's also like a still cheap course. Like if you're not walking, it's still like 30, 40, $50 for, you know,
Okay.
and the time commitment to it as well. Like, especially if you're not good and you're trying to play like somewhat within the rules of golf and like you're not picking up or anything like that. Like it can take like 4 or 5 hours to play around a golf. Like it's just a time
Jesus.
commitment too. But when you're good at golf and you appreciate how good, like how hard it is to do what professional golfers do, then you watch them do it and you're like, holy shit. You see some of the things that they do and you're like, there is 0.0% chance, no matter how long I practice, that I could ever do that. And I don't get that feeling with other sports. Like when I watch baseball, like I played baseball to college, like I can hit velocity. I was a pretty good pitcher. I throw a good breaking ball. When I watch football, like I can catch a football. I can throw a football. I'm fast. I played offensive line even when I was younger. Like when I watch basketball, I'm like, I can make a 3-pointer. I could make a layup. But like with golf, I'm like, I can't hit a 340-yard drive like Bryson can. I can't putt like some of these guys do. I can't hit wedges and have them spin 50 feet back. Like I can do some of that. My former coworker David is in the chat. He said you can appreciate that when you suck too, and I can vouch that David is terrible at golf. We had a bet actually that we didn't get to see to fruition because I ended up leaving my job and going to somewhere else. But David, we will find a way to incorporate that in our future where I'm going to give him 2 strokes a hole and see if he can beat me. And I don't think he can.
Ooh.
Shots fired. And if he loses, he has to buy a pair of Crocs. I think that's what it ultimately ended up being because he was talking shit about my Crocs one day.
Now, is there going to be designs on these Crocs, or it's just going to be plain one single color?
I feel like I'm gonna have to make him get like some nice, pretty dolled up Crocs.
Yeah, they got to be gaudy, man. You got to get those. Probably got to throw some of those. I don't even know what they call them. They're like pins that are on the front
Yeah, those
that
like
people have been
rubber-
putting in.
Yeah, get some of the like the Post Malone ones or the.
Here you go.
I think Luke Combs. I think he had like custom Crocs that came out. He says I hate Crocs. The original goal was I was gonna make him wear them at work for an entire day. And
Okay.
I will buy him the Crocs if he wears them at work the entire day and shows me proof that he's wearing Crocs. To be full disclosure, I'm probably just gonna go to Walmart and buy those knockoff Crocs that are like $8. But
Frogs.
yeah, they still work. It's the same concept. But yeah, I think golf is a really underrated sport to watch. And I honestly, I've been seeing a lot of back to basketball. Like I've been seeing a lot of Bulls hype on Twitter, which is new. Like normally it's just everybody talking shit about Jim Boylan and Gar Pax and all that fun stuff. So it's real nice to see the spark back on just like social media side of things. So maybe I'll have to get back into it. I work in the city now. Maybe I'll catch a game sometime. I don't know. It seems like it might be the time to start doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I mean, tickets are probably expensive again. I feel like basketball's always been pretty expensive since
Mm.
anytime I've gone, which isn't very often. I did get tickets to the Nets Bulls game back when, well, I don't know what year that was,
Mm.
2015 or something, and it went to triple overtime in the playoffs. It was an amazing game, probably best game I've ever been to. But even those are like $100 in the nosebleeds or something like that.
Sheesh. I got so funny story. The last time I bought tickets to a basketball game, I didn't even end up going because I wasn't paying attention, and my wife and I were visiting Charlotte, North Carolina. So I bought Charlotte Hornets tickets, which was great, except for the fact that they were playing, I think, in like Washington.
Mm.
They were not the home team like I thought they were. So, but I think I went on SeatGeek, and I think I only spent like $18 a ticket to get in. So,
Okay.
and it doesn't help too that we're going to Chicago sporting events, which are just inherently way more expensive than they need to be.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
On that note, I finally got my number called for the Cubs waiting list after a decade
Let's
this
go.
year. I declined them.
Damn, that's
I'll jump.
crazy.
So I'm not too upset. It kind of hurt saying no, but they're so expensive for
Yeah, they
not
are.
knowing what the team's gonna look like. But every year has been like, oh, you moved up 100 spots. Oh, you moved up 100 spots. From last year to this year, I moved up 52,000 spots.
Jesus.
So I'm not too upset. I feel like I can jump back on and maybe get tickets again in maybe 5-ish years.
Yeah, if they're flying through
But
them like that, like clearly people are like clearly you're not the only person turning them down. Like,
exactly.
when I think people are realizing too, like they don't have the value that they used to have season tickets. Like they used to be like a prestige thing. Like, oh yeah, you're a season ticket holder, but it's like I know people that are my age that are season ticket holders, and like they don't make a lot of money. It's not worth it as much as it used to be. And like my uncle has season tickets that we use for the Cubs, which are cool whenever we get to go, but it's like it's $100 for the tickets, like for where he sits regardless. And it's like I feel like if I
Okay.
want like for 21 games, like I don't know what he spends on season tickets, but if I wanted to go to 21 games, I'll spend $40 each time and go sit in the bleachers. Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing. You it's hard to resell them for at least a decent profit, in my opinion. Because I went in on season tickets with a friend a few years back, and they were hard to sell. I mean, I'm one of the guys that will go on StubHub or something and buy a $3 ticket right before the game starts,
oh
and then
yeah.
be like, "Oh, I'm good." So it's like now me trying to be the guy that sells them in advance and be like, "Come on, why isn't nobody paying for these tickets?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm one of the guys that normally don't."
Yeah, like I just at this like I don't care where I sit most of the time. Like there's not too many spots, especially like at Wrigley. Like there's not too many spots that are like really that bad. Like you can't see what's going on and all of that. Like which is funny because like I'll spend the least amount of money to get into Wrigley, but like if I go to like a minor league game, like in Joliet, they have the Slammers, just like a trash independent league team. I will spend $15 to sit right behind home plate just because. So it's like in some situations I do care a little bit, but I just want to get in. Like it's the experience.
It's the
There's so much
atmosphere.
there's so much more to it than just like I don't need the prestige of oh, I'm a season ticket holder. I get 20 whatever set of season tickets you get. I don't need to go to 82 games. I can't fit that into my life schedule even if I wanted to. So I have to split it with somebody. And then I got to deal with getting the games that I want versus the games that they want. It's just too big of a hassle.
Parking.
I was gonna put my name in, but it's just not worth it. Like I'll just go to the games when I want to go to them. I'll save the money that way.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't blame you there. And I think that's where I'm at too. That's why it finally got my name called, and I'm like, I'm not as excited as I thought I'd be.
Yeah, like if your name was called going to the 2017 season, you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, give me the tickets. I'll take them. I don't care."
Here's my house.
Yep. And now it's just kind of like maybe we're competing next year, maybe we're not. We don't know. They don't know. I don't think if you ask them right now, they know what they're doing. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I don't blame you there. But hey, maybe it's the time to get back into basketball. Maybe I'll give it a shot, and if I do, I'll probably fall in love with it, and my Twitter will get even more annoying than it already is.
Amen. That's how you get people to pay attention. You gotta be
Exactly.
annoying.
Exactly. Speaking of Twitter, follow us on Twitter. Anyways, that was a great topic. Anytime I could talk about sports in general, I just enjoy it. Even if it's sports that I'm not like super into. Like I can talk about basketball and enjoy talking about it. And it's not like I still know. I still like find ways to get involved with the sport. Like I can still tell when players are good versus when they're not. Like
Sure.
it's not like a rocket science sport. I can still tell you that LeBron's better than Michael Jordan. I knew it. I knew that one would cut deep. I could just tell. But that's my favorite argument to make. And then I'm like, yeah, I don't even watch basketball. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Stop having an opinion on this thing you know nothing about.
If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you.
Exactly. All right. That was a great topic. On to my second topic, which I like to try and come up with on the fly. And then it never ends up being as good of a topic as I want it to be. But this one's still coming up on the fly. And I'm trying to delay it because I still don't know what I'm going to ask. I got it. Okay. So just because you kind of brought this up earlier and you talked about like, having a bartending kit, drinking, like making different drinks and stuff like that. What are like 5 cocktails that you think everybody should try at least once? That could be like traditional cocktails. That could be like a special one that you've made that you love to go back to. Like, just what are some things that we think people should try drinking if they haven't before?
All right, so my go-to every single time, doesn't matter if I'm making it, if I'm at a bar, I'm at a restaurant, you have to try it. I think 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, people won't like it because it's just alcohol, and that's an old fashioned.
Mhm.
I love me a good old fashioned. I think I make some decent old fashions, and there's just something about it. I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest. Like I love the taste of alcohol, and which is I know a lot of people like want their cocktail to just go down super smooth, but I love the taste of a good old fashioned. I think that's going to be number one on my list for any kind of alcoholic beverage. Even if you want to say, hey, let's talk about tequila drinks, make an old fashioned out of tequila. Just try it. It's actually pretty good. Done it out of mezcal where it's nice and smoky.
Yeah.
So good.
That's where my brain went with it. I was like, ooh, like a mezcal old fashioned. I've never thought to do that. I love old fashions. I again, like if you like whiskey, you're gonna like an old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm sure there's some enthusiast out there who's like, you can only drink whiskey straight, or it's not whiskey anymore. But like, I don't know. I've always enjoyed it. I never thought of doing it with other liquors though. That's an intriguing idea.
Try it. Try it with the mezcal. If you like the smoky flavor, try it with the mezcal. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, that's a good one. I would agree with you that I think everybody should try an old fashioned, but one for me that I really enjoy drinking that I don't see people drink often, it's called a lunchbox. If you're not familiar with it, some people are, some people aren't. It's normally taken as like a chug shot, but it's beer, orange juice, and amaretto, and it tastes just like Sunny D. Kind of the opposite of what you're talking about. Like you want it to taste like alcohol. Like this doesn't taste like alcohol at all, but it's so tasty. It's so good. And I think everybody should try it. At least try the shot. If not, try it as the full drink. It's just a can of beer, or you don't have to use a full can of beer. Beer to taste, and it's just any light beer. Like there's no requirement as to what it is. Busch Light, Keystone, Bud Light, Miller Light, doesn't matter. The closer to water, probably the better for you. So throw a Bud Light or a Coors Light in there and call it a day. It's like 2 parts beer, 2 parts orange juice, 1 part amaretto. It's delicious. And again, most people do it as a shot. I like it as a cocktail too.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had it as a cocktail. I've definitely had it as a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would never. But are you chugging that as a cocktail too? Because I feel like it tastes like juice, so it's like it just goes down so quickly.
Yeah, it's not really like chugging it, but I definitely drink it a lot quicker than I should. It's one of those
Yeah, I
dangerous
can
ones
see
where
that.
it's like, oh, I'm drunk now because I've had 4 of these in 25 minutes.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think if I'm having shots, I think I'd prefer the shot to at least have better flavor than just straight liquor, to be honest, too, because I like the burn, but I don't necessarily need that burn every single time if I'm
Right.
just pounding something.
Me too. Like when I'm taking shots, I'm normally drinking something else too. And so
Hmm.
like I can get the alcoholiness from whatever else I'm drinking, and then I'm like, we're doing shots because we're celebrating something or because somebody just wanted to do shots. I don't know. Like, yeah, I agree with you that I don't need it every time. So that's why I always lean towards like, you know, uh, Jaeger bombs, Vegas bombs, lemon drops. You know, that's if I'm shooting something, it's typically more something like that than it is
Yeah, it makes sense.
like just a. I'll take a shot of vodka, shot of tequila.
Another beer? What? Some tequila? What? Gotta miss me
Uh,
some Stone Cold. But
um,
I think another one would have to be a margarita on the rocks. I'm a big
yes.
like rocks kind of guy, or neat if you don't prefer the ice. But a margarita on the rocks go to like a 2-1-1 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, two shots tequila, one lime juice, and one like Cointreau if you're gonna whatever you feel like mixing it with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's good enough, man. I mean, and that's sweet, and you don't taste the liquor as much, and if you like margaritas, I think you'll like it on the rocks as well. I'm sure, like most people are getting it cold, so on the rocks is will be perfectly fine.
I much prefer margaritas on the rocks. I'm not, and maybe that's just because, like, in general, like, I don't like slushies really. I don't like
Hmm.
smoothies. Like, I don't like that kind of, I just don't love that consistency. And so I just prefer it on the rocks. But I also think, like, I just think it tastes better. It tastes different. Like, it's more liquidy. I don't know. And most of the times, like, when you go somewhere, I feel like when you get a margarita that's just like, the iced margarita, not even, I can't even think of the proper term for it.
Frozen,
Frozen,
basically.
yeah. I feel like most of the time it's just tequila and sour mix, and it just doesn't taste as
Yeah,
good. Like they're not
like
like they're like we're not trying for this.
no, and it's like it's a premix. It's not even a mix they made.
Yeah, it's like the Jose Cuervo. Add
Mm.
tequila to this, and it'll taste like a margarita. Yeah,
Add tequila to this sugar cube.
it's just not. Yeah, no, not it for me. I'm definitely an on the rocks guy. To kind of stick with the tequila trend, Palomas are amazing. I love grapefruit, anything. And so maybe my bias shines through there. But Palomas are the most underrated. Like, I would rather have Palomas at brunch than mimosas.
Yes.
And I think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people would call that a hot take. But I also just don't love champagne like that. And I do like tequila like that. So,
Yeah, and I don't know if you're familiar with Dahin. It's a
yep.
oh, I put that in my Paloma all the time. You have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I feel like it adds a little extra kick to it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so much better. It's so much better. And even like grapefruit mimosas are above orange juice mimosas for me, but palomas are like a tier of their own. Like that's my brunch drink. If I'm going to brunch, I want palomas.
So are you doing a grapefruit juice or a grapefruit soda?
Usually grapefruit juice. I would assume that's
Okay.
what most places do. I don't really make them myself, but I would probably still use grapefruit juice unless you're about to tell me that grapefruit soda is better.
So I when I make them, I do soda. I'll do like a squirt or something, or
Okay.
like I'll do like a grapefruit what do you call it, like a seltzer water kind of thing.
Right.
And I prefer that just because I like the carbonation in it.
Makes sense.
But the grapefruit juice is still pretty damn good.
I love squirt in general. Like I said, I just love anything grapefruit, so I'll definitely have to try that.
Yeah, go for it. I think you'll like it. Then if you do like squirt, then squirt and tequila will do the job for you.
Love that.
One drink I had for the first time the other day that I thought was pretty damn good, and it was for dessert. I went to this restaurant, we had a nice steak dinner, and afterwards I ordered this martini that was like an espresso martini basically,
Mm.
except they used Starbucks cold brew to make it.
Ooh.
And dude, it was so damn good. I wanted to order another one, but I was like, I don't really want to spend another $10 on a drink that I'm gonna basically just pound really quick.
Right. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I've never been a huge martini person. Like it's just
Same.
not my cup of tea. But I feel like anything again. It's much like grapefruit. Like anything coffee flavored, I'm just in. I'm ready for it. I want it. I'll try it at least once.
And that was exactly my rationale going into it. I I don't care for martinis. I mean, I'll drink it. I'm not gonna say no to a martini. You're gonna buy me a martini, I'm gonna
Yeah.
drink it.
Oh yeah, same.
But I love anything coffee as well. And I actually started following Johnny's Drinks or Johnny Drinks on Instagram. I forget what he's
Yeah.
called. He's also got a YouTube page, and they always make espresso martinis. And I was like, I gotta try it. He makes it look so good.
Yeah. Bro, TikTok like has changed the way I look at alcohol. Like there's so many things I want to try just because of TikTok. It's insane. Let's see. Next up for me, I think a lot of people have drank a very similar drink to this, but just a gimlet. Vodka gimlet, tequila gimlet. It's very similar to like a Moscow Mule, which you can then, you can make an Irish Mule, you can make a Kentucky Mule, like you can spin that off in a bunch of different ways. But just a straight gimlet, like I prefer vodka to gin, so I prefer vodka gimlets, which is literally just 2 parts vodka, 1 part lime juice, 1/2 part sweetener. So most people just do like muddled sugar in it, and it's just I love the taste of vodka. It's just, even though it doesn't really taste like anything, like I really enjoy it. And gimlets are like, I think, very underrated. They're very classy. Like if you order a gimlet, like you're like, oh, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about when it comes to the drink. But it's also just like it goes down easy. It's not too offensive. It's not too strong. It's not too weak. It's not too sweet. It's not too sour. It's like a good balanced cocktail, which is really what I'm looking for a lot of the times. I just want something that's like going to be enjoyable to drink.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if I've ever had one, so I'll have to check that out because I always run through like my mind when I'm gonna order something or I'm gonna make something. I'm like, what am I gonna make? And it always ends up being get the same shit you got before because you know you like it. I was like, damn it, I want something different though.
Right. Yeah, it's worth trying at least once. Like I mean, if you think about it, it's again traditionally gin, but just it's vodka, lime juice, and sweetener.
Okay,
Like there's nothing offensive about that in any way, shape, or form.
nice. I went to this bar in Wisconsin one time. Been there a couple of times, but that's the only place I can get this drink, and it's essentially a Moscow Mule, but it's a Mexican Mule. But they use, I don't know if you're how familiar with different tequilas, but they use Hornitos tequila, which there's a special one that they have. It's habanero infused,
Ooh.
and I cannot find it anywhere except online. And I don't want to order a bottle online and be charged an absolutely ridiculous amount to get it
Right.
shipped to me. And it's got a kick, so I don't know how you are with spicy, but
I love
it's got
spicy.
nice. Oh, then you'll love this because it's got like a nice kick to it. I've tried having bars make it with like muddling jalapenos and stuff, and it doesn't come out the same.
Right.
And just the tequila they use is perfect, and it's up there with one of the best drinks I've ever had. And it's just extremely basic Mexican Mule, except that tequila changes the entire drink, and
Right.
it's the only bar I've ever seen that had it.
I love anytime you can make a drink spicy. Like it's just a game changer. Like it just changes everything about your experience when you do it. And when you find one that does it like that, that's so unique. Like I didn't even know that they had like a habanero infused tequila. Like I've seen like ghost pepper.
Yeah, same.
I've seen like ghost pepper infused stuff, but I like the taste. Like ghost pepper doesn't taste good. It just burns. Whereas habanero tastes really, really good. I'm intrigued now. Let me know what bar it is because I want to go try that now.
Yeah, I'll find the name of it. I have no idea what the name is. I just know where it's at, and I just, you can walk in while the girls are going shopping and be like, all right, we're gonna be over here while you guys go, because it's in
Right.
like Geneva,
Okay.
and so it's like, all right, we'll be over here while you guys go do
Yeah.
that
We'll do this. You can go do everything else.
for
Love
sure.
that. For me, another one that you have to go somewhere where pineapples are like native, but having a fresh pina colada is so good. I try and make them here and eat like it's like using canned or frozen pineapple or like cream of coconut as opposed to like actual coconut. Like it's just not the same. Like when we were in Hawaii, they had fresh pina coladas at the hotel bar every single day. And oh my God, it's so fresh. It's so refreshing. It's another one of those where it's like, you don't taste the alcohol in it. And then you have 6 of them. And you're like, well, I'm not going anywhere else today. But it's just so good. And again, I love coconut. I love pineapple. Apparently this episode is just me talking about flavors that I love in an extraordinary amount, but just having a fresh made pina colada, there's nothing in that category of drinks that compares.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's like when you're getting fresh anything, it always ups it up a whole nother notch because it's like, hey, I had a fresh insert whatever here this one time, and so I'm gonna love it if I order it again. And then you go to somewhere where, they're like, oh yeah, we have artificial sweetener of that, and it's like,
Yeah. Like I don't need your pineapple syrup. I need
Right.
pineapple that just came off the tree or is just picked and is fresh. Like you just cleaned it and cut it in front of me and you made the drink. Like that's what I need. I don't need any of the other shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. That is a game changer because it all the flavors, the actual juice is right there for you to just
Yes.
savor, and it's a game changer for sure.
Yeah, and when you can have like fresh coconut, fresh pineapple, like the artificial stuff, it's fine. It has its place, but like once you have the real stuff, then everything afterwards is so disappointing. Like we have a friend who was really craving pina coladas, so they came over a few weeks ago and we just drank a bunch of pina coladas, and the whole time I was just like, this just does it's not as good. But I will admit, Topgolf's pina colada slaps.
Okay.
It is damn close to tasting like the fresh ones. I don't know. I know what they put in it. I don't know how they blend it and mix it so that it is as good. But we had them there, and when we visited our friends and went to Topgolf, and we were like, "Holy shit!" It almost feels like we're back in Hawaii.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. I've only been to Topgolf one time, and that was the one in Schaumburg, and I only drank beer while I was there, and the beer was decent. So can't get beer wrong, I guess, when you're at
I
a.
was gonna say, not too often I've had a bad beer.
Oh, I've had bad beer.
I've had some like skunked out beers every once in a while, but like
For sure.
that's and whenever that happens, it's like somebody left beer at my buddy's house, and then it was like 2 months later we were having a party and we just found one in the back, and we were like, oh, here. And
Yeah,
then we just still drink it anyway because we're like, well, it's still got alcohol in it.
Yeah. And I definitely want to get back to that soon. But for my last one, I'm going to go with a shot that I tried for the first time not too long ago. And there is a pizza place by my house. Shout out, buddies. The owner there is real dope guy. He real nice guy. Comes around, like if you come with kids and stuff, he gives out free ice cream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's dope little pizza place. But he also likes to buy our table around when we're there. And one of the things he always gives us is Screwball. And
Yeah.
I thought peanut butter whiskey, that's kind of weird. I guess we'll try it out. Screwball's pretty fucking good, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've had it yet, but
I
it is
have,
pretty
yeah.
damn good.
It's one of those things where like when I had it, I was kind of going through like a whiskey snob phase where I was like, it can't be good. This is not whiskey. And then I tried it. I was like, I don't care. It's delicious. We had it one time. We had like peanut butter and jelly shots.
Yep.
Those are so good too.
Yeah. I always like trying the shots that are just very, hey, you ever ate this before? Of course I have. All right, now drink it.
Yeah. Like cinnamon toast crunch shots are up there with
Yep.
another one that is just delicious.
I don't know what's in it, but I went to a bar. The guy made us Tootsie Roll shots.
Oh,
Tastes
yeah.
just like a Tootsie Roll. That was pretty damn good.
Green tea shots, another
Huh.
one that's up there.
Interesting. I
You've
don't
never
know
had-
if I've ever had it. No.
Let me pull up the ingredients because I know what they are. But it's also a one that can be done as a cocktail too. It's equal parts whiskey, peach schnapps, and sour mix.
Okay.
And they
I'll
are
have to check that out.
They're very good. But again, it's one that you can do as a shot or as an actual cocktail.
Okay.
And then the last one for me, shout out to one of, if not the most popular chefs of all time. May he rest in peace. His favorite drink was a Negroni. He always says that everybody should go out and have a Negroni. And in Anthony Bourdain's honor, I got to put a Negroni on the list. They are delicious. They're not my favorite, but they are very good, and I think everybody should try it at least one time in their life.
Absolutely, and that's one of those that where it's like, I'm not going to order it, but if someone's like, "Hey, we're having Negronis," I'm like, "Yeah, let's fucking do it."
Yeah, I was like, all right, sounds good to me. And that's exactly how I had it. Like we went to a family party, and it was just like that was one of the cocktails that they were making that night. They were like, we have a menu for a house party. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I guess I'll try a Negroni. And I was like, oh shit, it's actually pretty good. I'm never gonna order
Not
one.
bad.
I'm never gonna go to a bar and be like, especially not like the bars that I go to. Like I'm not gonna go to like a dive bar and be like, let me get a Negroni. They're gonna be like, the fuck did you just call me? And I'm like, no,
Kick
no,
your ass and make you leave.
exactly. Like I'm never gonna do that. But it's like it's a very classic drink. It's gin based. So if you don't like gin, I still think a lot of the annoying parts of gin get kind of tampered down with it, which is why maybe I like it. But it's also just like it's very classic, and I like a classic cocktail every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's funny because like I'm very much on the I want to try something different, but the classics are classics for a reason, and
Exactly.
you always have to go back to it eventually.
Yeah. You can't beat the classics. You can't beat old fashions, Manhattans, good old vodka soda. Those are still always the go-tos. But every once in a while, you got to class it up a little bit. Try something new.
Put it in a nice glass, of course.
Exactly. All right.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to pass it over to you and say, close us out. Give us our last topic.
Yeah, so that's funny because this was actually going to be the topic I was thinking of. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit,
I love
and let's go with the drinks that you don't like. Whether it's you've had this beer that absolutely sucks and you can never get it again. Because when you mentioned that you've never had a bad beer, I instantly thought of bad beers that I've had.
that. Okay, so I should preface this by saying that I do think that we just got bad cans. But we did it on this podcast. Kyle and I both had it and both thought it was terrible. It was Uncle Bear's Brewery Peanut Butter Cup Porter. It was terrible. We were both so excited for it, and this is why I think it was just like it had like a sour note to it. Like it was like a peanut butter sour beer. But that's not what a porter is. So I think we just got like really like old cans that have probably just been sitting in this Total Wine forever. And so they were very, very bad. And I will give it another shot, but I don't have high hopes because they were terrible.
Yeah,
I gave it a 1.4. Like,
yeah, porters should not be sour.
no, it was and I knew it was bad when my wife liked it because she likes sour beers. And she was like, oh, it's pretty good. I'm like, no, it's terrible.
Oof, that's rough. My buddy Ben, who's my co-host that we were recording Windy City Rant tonight, just texted me because he's also listening, and he said, hands down, never again would do Everclear.
I mean, yeah, straight Everclear, yeah.
Oh, you'd kill yourself.
Yeah. But like we've put Everclear in like apple cider and done like spiked apple cider. And it's really good.
I don't think I've ever done that. We've done Jungle Juice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where you just add a bunch of crap with Everclear, and that's actually a terrible idea that I probably can't do again because I'm not 18 or 21, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah. One of the worst beers I've ever had. I won't even be able to pronounce it, and it was in some Russian bottle that I found at a local liquor store. And I was on a kick where I was like, I'm going to just try every beer that I could possibly try. So when I was going down the list, I'm like, I'm going to find something with extremely high alcohol content. This was an 18% beer. They sold one bottle. It's sold by the single bottle, 18% beer. And I don't know what it was called, but it cost me $3. That should have been the biggest red flag ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if I get like the stouts that I drink that are 12+% are like $8 or $9 a can. Yeah, that's concerning.
It hurt. It physically hurt to drink it. The letters were all in Russian. I have no idea what it was. I hope it was beer. I hope it was beer. It was in a beer bottle, so I hope it was beer. But it hurt to drink it. It was physically I was physically ill after having it, and it's one thing I would never try again. And they had several different variations of it. There was different pictures on the bottles for the same exact one, but I can never do it again.
Yeah, that's like Russian Ice House, which Ice House is not great, but also 8%. If you're trying to get, trying to get drunk pretty
Wait,
quick, it works.
Ice House is 8%?
I think so. Am I
Holy
mixing up
shit.
my beers?
I mean, it might be. I don't know if I've ever tried Ice House to be honest, but wow.
Oh, it says only 5.5. Which one am I thinking of? We had one
I don't know.
that was like, we brought it to a music festival with us, and I was drinking it, and I looked, I was like, this tastes like not great, and then I looked, I was like, oh, it's 8%. That's why.
Out here drinking Four Locos.
Oh no, it was Ice House. Ice House Edge is what it's called. Yeah, it's 8%.
That's an alcoholic
Not-
monster.
Not great. Not great by any means.
Yikes.
That's one thing I'll never drink again. The OG Four Locos. Like, if I could find them, I will never drink those again.
Heart attack in a can.
And see, like, it's not even that to me, because, like, I'll mix alcohol and energy drinks. Like, that's not a problem for me. But, like, Four Locos, like, you wake up in the morning and you, like, I don't know what was in it, but you would wake up and you're like, I think my heart just stopped. I think it just stopped again. There we go. That's the third one. Okay, now it's not. It just isn't stopping. Now it's just continually beating, and I can't think because my head is just heartbeats. Like, it was just, and they didn't taste good. None of them tasted good.
Yeah. Have you ever thrown up a Four Loco?
I don't think so.
The color of which one you're drinking matches your vomit. It's terrible.
That is, oh God, yeah. I've been lucky. I haven't thrown up a ton from drinking in my life, and when I have, it's normally like when we've been playing drinking games in my buddy's basement. And I have had 8 beers in 12 minutes. Like, I've just had to chug too much, and it's just purely like volume. It's not actually from the alcohol. But yeah,
Yeah.
no. There was a phase in my life where I couldn't drink Captain Morgan because of that, like, because of drinking it too much. I had way too much one night. Terrible choice with my friend to try and see who could finish a 5th of Captain Morgan quicker. I won.
So everybody lost.
But then I lost, yeah. And yeah, for a long time I had that aversion to it, and I just could not drink it. Obviously, it's sitting right there behind me. I can drink it now. It's not. We're good friends again, but for a while there, things were not going well between me and old Captain.
Yeah, and I had that same experience with vodka, and I could not do Grey Goose. I made the mistake of being at a party playing Never Have I Ever, running out of beer, and deciding my solo cup can do just straight Grey Goose while I play. No.
Bad call.
And then probably the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, it happens. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other alcohols I can't do. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure after this is over, I'm going to have some come to mind. There's ones that I just generally, like, will avoid at all cost, like Seagram's wine coolers.
Okay.
Like, I just avoid those because they're so sugary. I just get heartburn, like, thinking about drinking them.
They hurt. Yeah.
Which is funny because I can do, like, Smirnoff Ices just fine. But, like, the Seagram's specifically. Oh, Burnett's vodka.
Don't know that one.
It's like a shitty $6 bottle of vodka. But what
Oh,
happened,
nice.
we had it at Country Thunder, a music festival in Wisconsin. And we left the bottle out, so it was hot. And I didn't realize this, and I was making people rip shots of hot blueberry vodka. And then I had to do one myself, and I literally cannot look at the brand the same way.
That is disgusting. If you ever do Country Thunder again, let me know. I won't go to Country Thunder, but it is about 15 minutes away from my house.
Nice. You can come drink. We'll sneak you into the fairgrounds. You can just
Yeah.
come party with us. That's what we do for most. I mean, that's what we do. That's the point of going to Country Thunder for us. We drink from 9, 10 a.m. until like 6 p.m. when the headliners start to come on, and then we go to like the last 2 concerts of the day, and then we go back and keep drinking. So
I don't know I don't really know country music anyway, so
fuck it. Um, let's see. Just ones that I generally don't like. I don't like Dos Equis.
Okay.
I just don't like. I like Mexican beers. There's plenty that I do like. Like I like Tecate. I love Corona. Modelo's fine. It's not my favorite. And then I've had like Mexican craft beers, or like
Hmm.
Mexican style craft ales or anything like that, and I've always enjoyed them. But just Dos Equis for whatever reason, I had it one time and I was like, this is terrible, and I have not had it again.
Does not make you stay thirsty.
No, does not. Made me not want to drink anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm
Those are the
good.
worst.
I'm good. I'll soda water. Thank you. And then, I guess like gold tequila too. I don't like gold tequila. I can drink, Blanco. I can drink Reposado. I can drink Mezcal, but just like shitty gold tequila, I can't do it.
Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah.
We just bought one recently, and we're like, we'll try it. I mean, the guy recommended it. No,
Yeah.
never again.
Yeah. I don't know if you could see the bottle of it, but Espolón, it's like a nice $20 Blanco tequila. That's my
Yep,
go-to.
nice clear label. I've had that one.
Yeah, that's my go-to. Like if I'm just like making anything here and not going too fancy with it, that's always solid for me.
Yeah, the greatest basketball player in the world, Michael Jordan, has a new tequila, and that's not bad too.
Kylie Jenner has a tequila, I heard. Heard it's fucking terrible.
It's what I've heard, and I don't want to pay to try it.
There's this TikToker, and he like reviews, quote unquote, like famous people's alcohol. And for him, he was like reviewing Kylie Jenner's new tequila, and he like put it in his mouth, and he just like
Oof,
he just like spit it out. He was like, "This is terrible."
no
And
thanks.
he does that a lot because like a lot of like celebrity alcohol is terrible. But like the only one that he did even off the top of my head kind of like was Aviation Gin, the one that Ryan Reynolds is invested in.
Okay,
He liked that one. Apparently, I think that one's pretty decent.
okay, nice. Well, hopefully you invite me on again, and I will be able to have a whole conversation about celebrity alcohol because I actually do a tequila tasting with one of the bosses at work, and we had celebrity theme the last time we got together, and we did our own little ratings on it too. So I can do a whole nother segment on that too. So hopefully I get invited on again, and we can celebrity liquor it up.
Definitely. Well, we will definitely have you back on again. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got another podcast to go record, but I want to thank you so much for coming on. Let the people know again where they can find you, share all of your content here, and thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Again, you can find me at mpflores90, and that's pretty much on all social media. You'll find me there. Find me Edison and Shields, talk about Cubs, White Sox. Find me on Windy City Rant, where we're going to talk about literally everything. It's kind of almost the same concept that we just did here. Um, Bunch of comedy stuff, bunch of sports stuff, and just follow the Say It Again network where you can find all of our stuff there. And again, thanks for having me on, and we'll do this again soon, hopefully.
We appreciate it. Thank you for filling in for Kyle this week. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in as always. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Anything that helps with the YouTube algorithm is always appreciated. Make sure you check us out on Spotify and iTunes. And as always, don't forget to tell somebody you love them. Thank you.